So are you clear on your mission, your vision, and your purpose? If not, you want to stay tuned to this next guest on La Dolce Vita, the formula for fabulous living. He shares his formula on getting clear on his inspired message and mission. And I'm telling you, this guest is going to blow you away. I'm so excited to share this with you. And it's the first guest that has made me cry. So stay tuned.
Frankie Lee, dimmi, qual è senso della vita?
The meaning of life is to live la dolce vita, which is the formula for fabulous living.
Hi, my name is Heather Picken, and welcome to the La Dolce Vita Show, the formula for fabulous living. I'm the catalyst in helping you to be more confident, create your dream business, and attract elite clients and live a fabulous life. Here's Heather helping you to upgrade your life to
Fabulous. Upgrade your life to fabulous. Right, Frankie? You're fabulous.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of La Dolce Vita, the formula for fabulous living. Yes, there is a formula for your success. And if you pay attention, if you follow the formula, if you find your own unique formula that makes you truly fabulous, what happens is that you create a mission, vision, and purpose that you could birth out into the world and impact the planet. I mean, how cool is that? Today, my guest, I'm so inspired to have my guest. I met him a couple years ago with an event that I co-hosted called The Influencer, and he was our guest musician, and he just blew me away. I mean, he was just so inspiring, and I want everyone to know about him. So, Chris, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
And so before we go into it, there's so much I want to talk to you about, because I really feel that we learn through our challenges. Like our disorder can become our order. So I want to share a little bit my story, and I want to share your story because I think your story is extraordinary. I know growing up, I was diagnosed with a learning disorder, dyslexia, and I felt so stupid all my life. I compared myself to my peers, my sister, never felt that I was good enough. And so I really beat myself up thinking there was something wrong with me. And it wasn't until later in life where I realized that everything was perfect, that there was nothing wrong with me. And once I really embraced who I was, I could really, be who I was, be my authentic self. And so what I love about you, Chris, is that, you've got such an amazing talent in what you're doing. And so can you share with people that are watching or listening today what your inspired mission, vision, and purpose is?
Sure. Well, I am a professional keynote speaker for a company that I co-founded called Perfectly Afflicted. And essentially what we do is we travel around and speak to everyone from kindergarten to corporations, because, sometimes kindergarten and corporations are essentially the same thing. And what we do is we provide hope to those communities in various ways, depending on the age group, because obviously you shift around your message depending on who you're speaking and performing with, or performing for. And I've been performing since I was 4 years old. I've been writing songs since I was 20, writing songs and poetry. And a couple years ago, it sort of hit me like a freight train. I was like, I think there's a way to take all of that and combine it and use it to sort of heal people in their own unique way. And what I mean by that is, music is my favorite art form because to me, it is the one thing that you can give away and hold on to at the same time. Right. So what I mean by that is whenever I perform or write a song, like it has a specific meaning to me where it comes from, in terms of what I've gone through and my stories and my philosophy. But when a crowd, in a crowd, whether it's 5 people or 500 people, each individual human takes in that art form in a different way, right? So a song might mean something to me, but it could mean something totally different for my audience, right? So then what's created is this awesome sort of spiritual back and forth, like where we play ping pong with each other, and the energy gets bigger and bigger, and the ball grows and grows and grows as the back and forth continues, and then all of a sudden it explodes, and the gravitational pull that it creates brings everybody together in the end in an instant of artistic gratification. And so that's what I think, what I do and what Perfectly Afflicted represents. That's what we do for the community.
I love that. And, here's the thing. When you are clear on your mission, vision, and purpose, it's the clarity, it's the degree of your clarity of how you can really make an impact in the world. And I love that. I could see it. I could feel it. I feel it in your music. And I know, Chris, you've overcome challenges in your life. So I was wondering if you could talk about some of those challenges, what you had in that moment, what you were feeling before you overcame those challenges.
Well, it's funny. Challenges come and go in waves, and they come and go in phases. And when I was very young, I feel like, and this is the thing, is that as unique as my diagnosis is, which I'll get to, I feel like my story is so similar to so many people. So I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was 4. And essentially what that is the neurological signals from my brain to, for me in particular, my legs, every once in a while they misfire, right? And so the way that I move around, my gait is a bit awkward. I spent a lot of time in a wheelchair, in and out of hospitals for a couple of years. And recently I've discovered that cerebral palsy as a whole, and I'm not diminishing what CP means to certain people, but if anything, like I'm not crazy unique. If anything, I'm in a unique category because there's several million people that have that diagnosis. But with that said, what my CP, again, just like a song, what my CP means to me and what it represents for me in my life is totally, maybe totally different from somebody else's diagnosis and their condition. So for me personally, I chose to sort of take cerebral palsy out of the equation and replace CP with a crazy person. I was diagnosed with insanity.
I love it.
And I mean that, with love, because the way that I think and approach things on some level is a bit insane. But Steve Jobs says that in order to be successful, in order to be your own person, on some level you're gonna have to go a little crazy, which is what I've pretty much done from my 20s on. I was all set to be a physical therapist. That was sort of the route in life that I was gonna take, and my parents were, of course, very approving of that, because I could be more than just a physical healer. I could be a mental and emotional mentor for the young people that I was going to be working with. But in the end, I decided to give up that really nice, sweet, salaried possibility and play guitar for a living. And it was a really scary leap. But I have found in my life over and over again that whenever you take that frightening leap, the net always appears, one way or another, especially if you're consistent. And I went from not having a place to live, not making any money, not knowing where I was going to go, confined to a wheelchair, all of these things, to having a career, having a love life, having a balanced spiritual, emotional, mental capacity, and just having a direction, just because I was obsessed with this drive to insanely affect people. I wanted to get in touch with people emotionally, and Perfectly Afflicted, in the end, we're changing the world through connection, because there's so much division right now. And I felt as a musician that I could affect more people that weren't just physically hurting, that I could heal people that have diagnoses that are not often seen. You know, I tell a lot of people that I feel incredibly blessed because I have no choice. I have to sort of wear my condition on my sleeve. You know, there's no sort of hiding from it. And as a result, you know, while that can create a lot of tension between people, it's also a way to open up communication, because vulnerability is a really powerful thing. And I really feel for people that are struggling on the inside and make that choice to not be vulnerable because they feel as though whatever it is they're going through, that they're alone or nobody can relate to them, or that they've sort of put themselves in a box. And the greatest gift of my condition is that it has sort of forced me to stand or sit or present myself, however you want to say it, outside of that box for all the world to see. And if it hadn't been for my obsession to connect with people after college through music, I certainly wouldn't have this business, and I honestly don't know if I'd be here today. So
I love that. It's such a powerful story, you know, and we learn through story. We learn through connecting the dots, and, you know, someone that's having the drive with their mission, and there is a formula. I've talked about this all through my show. Every show that I talk about, I pull out, I extract the formula. It's a part of the formula when I'm hearing your story, Chris, is that having that relentless drive. You've got that desire, the fire inside of you. It's not work. You know what you're here to do. And that's what inspires me. So when I, look at you, you're inspiring to me, you're living your purpose, you're doing it, and you're overcoming the challenges, because as an entrepreneur, there's always challenges. They never go away. When you take a quantum leap, guess what? There's another challenge around the corner. You just have to go through that. And so, I want to take the time, because I know one of the things that I wanted you to do on the show is to sing the song Noise. I absolutely love that song. That is like my favorite song. And so the other night, I knew you were going to be on my show, and I've listened to it many times before, prior to today, but I really took some time to listen to it. Like, if you've ever listened to a song over and over again. So one night I put it on, it was on YouTube, and I listened to it for probably a good 3 hours. I was a little OCD, and it was so inspiring. I was so inspired, Chris. I had tears of inspiration. I could feel that energy that you were talking about before. And I was getting insight into my telos, which is the highest and purposeful thing that the Greeks called, and living from the telos, the highest meaning. And I came up with some beautiful ideas, and I started writing them down. And I thought, here is a person that really is creating in this matrix of what we're living in, this beautiful energy. And so then I went a step further, and I started writing down some of the lines, and I wanted to kind of share my interpretation. I was kind of curious what your interpretation, because of course you're the songwriter, and you were saying everyone has a different meaning. But, one of the things was, don't we all want a piece of the noise? We all want to be known for something worthy. And so I think that song, to me, in the meaning of where I'm extracting this, is that, we all have things that we love about ourselves, and then maybe we don't like about ourselves. And we want to be worthy of love. We want to create something inspiring. And, when you're saying, I do it for the emotion, I do it, I do it for the noise, and the music is my purpose. This is my voice. So when I was reading that, I was thinking, it's kind of like, okay, I've got this gift I want to share to the world, but I also want to be like, look at me, right? Because there's nothing wrong with that. Sharing your talents and your accomplishments and being able to connect with other people around the world. There's nothing wrong in being authentic and showing up in a way that is most authentic to you. And that's where a leader is really, born and birthed, like Ian Rand said, to be a visionary, you have to be a man or a woman with unborrowed vision, that trailblazer. So I was listening to it. I could have like gone through it more and more, but it was, I cannot tell you, like tears were streaming down my face. I'm like, I don't even know if he can sing this live because I might just lose it. So that's my interpretation. So I'm curious to hear your interpretation, and I know you're going to actually play it for us as well.
Yeah, well, it's simple really, is that it was everything that I was in 4 minutes. And I like to think that it's everything that we all are as people. Whatever it is that, however it is that you choose to express yourself. And I don't even mean it as just an art form. I mean just like art or your vulnerability or your pain, or how everything from how you view the opposite sex to how you feel when you get up in the morning. All of that stuff that and we throw around the word authenticity is being thrown around quite a bit, in the last 5 to 10 years. And it's interesting, like, I find it actually a bit odd that it's now that word is sort of a trend. Like it's sort of taken off, like, oh yeah, be authentic, like it's new.
Right.
Like why would you not want to be all of those things? And really, when I wrote the song, it was the very beginning of my music career. I just sort of come across my first or second manager, but this was really my first shot, so I took all of my emotion and I put it into that song. And it's sort of the upbeat version of a slower song that I wrote called Affliction. So noise and affliction are sort of opposites of each other. Noise is meant to really get you jacked up and get you outside of yourself, whereas affliction is sort of an internal, like pull you into your soul and get you to sort of listen to the silence around you and what are your surroundings trying to tell you about yourself, et cetera, et cetera. So noise is about taking yourself and throwing it into the outside world. And I put a lot of my own personal experience into that song, but really it's for everybody, which is how music should be.
And I felt that. I felt like when I was listening to it, I was hearing your story and then also hearing the meaning, just sharing what you wanted everyone else to hear in the world. And I love what you're saying, the afflicted and noise. It's really the complementary opposites, which is the synthesis of love. So it's absolutely extraordinary. And I want you to sing the song. So let me know if you're ready, and I'm going to put you full screen and we're ready to rock and roll.
All right, this is interesting. I have never done this song like full force right in front of a computer speaker. So we'll have to see how loud it, hopefully this thing can handle some loudness, because as the song implies, it's a pretty loud tune. But anyway, no time like the present.
Right.
Listen to the rhythm of the rhyming in your system, cause tonight you're gonna get them with a simple sleight of hand. Easy on the breath now, take your first step now. Here comes the pity, now he does the best he can. And now they're singing, where on earth did he come from, the sun? Right out here in front of everyone, singing, ain't you scared? Ain't you afraid? Didn't someone tell you you were great? I do it for emotion, I do it for the hope, I do it for the passion and the pain and the love. I do it for the art, I do it from the heart that drives me home. I do it cause I'm weightless, I do it for the flight, I do it for the making when the mood is right. Oh, as if you people thought I had a choice, I do it for the noise. Easy on the bass, I know your heart's racing, nobody's faking, now you earn their love. were nothing, now you're something. Keep on strumming what you're dreaming of. Now they're singing, where on earth did he come from? The sun, right out here in front of everyone, singing, ain't you scared? Ain't you afraid? Didn't someone tell you you were great? I do it 'cause it's mine. I do it 'cause I choose. I do it for the rockin' and the rhythm and the blues. I do it 'cause I care. I do it just to share my story here. I do it for the beauty, I do it for the beat, I do it for the rumble underneath your feet. Oh, as if you people thought I had a choice, I do it for the noise. I told you people that I'd make it out. Now I'm sitting here on stage, screaming out loud. I do it 'cause it moves you, 'cause it's the way that I walk. So you look me in the eye when we need to talk. I wanna touch your life, I wanna touch your soul. So just so you know, oh, I do it for the pain coming through this guitar. I'm not gonna lie, you don't wanna be a star. This music is my purpose, this music is my voice. I do it for the noise. This music is my purpose, this music is my voice. I do it for the noise.
Woo! Oh my gosh. This is the first time anyone's made me cry on this show.
I'm happy to
It's so powerful, Chris. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. It's so beautiful. I mean, I can listen to that song over and over again. And I'm just kind of like, I can't even go on with the interview. But I know you have a cause, you have a mission and purpose. And so how can people out there support your cause? Where can they go?
Well, I would love your help with the Perfectly Afflicted, because what we do, as I mentioned earlier, is we travel to everything from schools to businesses to try and transform their lives through speech and performance. But one of the other things that we do is we take a portion from the proceeds that we earn from the benefits and the various things that we do, and we put it back into school systems to work with kids, and also to sort of give them an outlet to express themselves so that they don't feel trapped. The community has evolved a bit. When I first started out, it was really just to focus on lowering the teen suicide rate in the country, because I think it's just astronomically off the charts, way, way, way too high, especially with, cyberbullying and all the things that have contributed to it. And so what we'll do is oftentimes we'll perform and we'll come across a young person who has, either a tremendous amount of talent, or maybe they don't even know they have a talent, but they have a dream. And if we can pay for it, we take some of the funds and we pay for their dreams. So one of the things that we've done is we've given electric guitars to kids who could play but couldn't afford it. Their parents couldn't afford it. Or most recently, there was a young woman we came across who tried to take her life with pills, and luckily didn't succeed. But her dream is to play Division I basketball, and she practices on the school team, but her family couldn't afford a basketball hoop. So this was like December, around Christmas time. So we found a time when she wasn't going to be around, and the vice principal and me and my business partner, Jeff Lawson, went out to her house. We bought a really nice basketball goal. We put it together, and we had it mostly set up by the time she got home. But because the vice principal was there, she thought she was like in trouble with the school. And we had to like coax her to get out of the car. I was like, no, this is a surprise for you. This is for you. This is so, a reminder that you're valued and you're loved. And you need to stick around and play and practice so that you can eventually play Division I, basketball. And, needless to say, she was
Wow.
Speechless. And those are the kind of moments that we live for. But long story short, if you'd like to support what we're doing, we have t-shirts that we sell on the site, and all that money goes, towards the cause and benefiting young people who need healing. And it also helps pay for presentations for schools or institutions that can't necessarily afford to pay a speaking fee. We'll cover it and we'll do the presentation anyway, if we have the funds in the bank. So we'd love it if you went to perfectlyafflicted.com and checked out some of those t-shirts and bought one.
I love it. Yes, I encourage everyone. There's a link posted below, no matter where you're listening to, iTunes or YouTube. Chris Hendricks, you have been so inspirational with your mission and your vision. And I just want to thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me, and let me know if I can be of any service in the future, please.
Thank you so much. And before we leave, I just want to leave a, final thought or word for people that are watching this on YouTube. Please push that Pavlov's bell. I call it Pavlov's bell. It's just a way to get notice of the episodes that are coming, or on iTunes. You can rate, review, and subscribe, because my mission and my purpose is to empower millions of women, not only women entrepreneurs, but women in general, to own their power and to own their greatness. Because no matter what you've done or not done, you can make a difference. And it could be one person, one message, and one mission. So again, I highly encourage you to click on the link, support Chris. He's amazing. He's fabulous. And let him know, Facebook friend him on social media and Instagram and all the other social icons. I'm sure we're going to post those below. But, here's the thing, if you're struggling, if you're in your head, I always look at it. It's like, how do you want to live your life or leave your legacy? Do you want to be at the last day on this planet and, say, I should have done this, or beat yourself up? And that's really the key. And so together we can do it. So thank you so much, Chris, for being my guest. And until next time, everyone, this is Heather Picken with La Dolce Vita, the formula for a fabulous living. Take care. So if you found this show to be fabulous, please share with your fabulous friends, rate, review, and subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. Wow. I'll make sure I take a beatbox lesson, right? Or give my little chihuahua a bone. That's me. Fabulous.